at 1:23 p.m. on November 22nd, 2018. Thanksgiving Day, a security camera recorded airline pilot Kelsey Berreth walking into her townhome in Woodland Park, Colorado. She carried grocery bags. A small holiday plant rested in her arm, her daughter beside her. Nothing appeared rushed. Nothing appeared unusual. It would become the last confirmed moment anyone saw Kelsey alive. Days later, messages began arriving from her phone. Texts telling co-workers she needed time away. Texts assuring family she was safe. But when investigators finally entered her home, one detail stopped them cold. Kelsey Berreth had seemingly vanished, yet nearly everything she owned remained exactly where she left it. Her car sat outside, her wallet untouched, her child still inside the home. Authorities first believed she had chosen to leave voluntarily. But one question refused to fade. Why would a woman preparing for Thanksgiving disappear without taking a single piece of her life with her? In the beginning, the case looked familiar. Adults sometimes walked away. Stress, relationships, personal struggles. Investigators had seen it before. But weeks later, detectives would uncover evidence that changed everything. Nearly 1 month after Kelsey vanished, a discovery forced authorities to reconsider every assumption they had made. The timeline collapsed. Messages once believed genuine suddenly appeared staged. And what began as a missing person investigation quietly shifted toward something far more serious. By the end of this story, investigators would come to believe that Kelsey Berreth never left her home alive. Kelsey Berreth was 29 years old. Friends described her as organized, private, and deeply devoted to her daughter. She worked as a flight instructor, building hours toward advancing her aviation career, a profession requiring discipline and precision. Her life followed structure: early mornings, carefully planned schedules, frequent communication with students and co-workers. She had recently purchased her Woodland Park townhome, choosing stability close to Colorado Springs. Kelsey shared her daughter with fiancé Patrick Frazee, a cattle rancher living about an hour away in Florissant. Their relationship appeared complicated but ongoing. Still, Kelsey planned for the future. Holiday preparations had already begun. Work commitments were scheduled. Flight lessons arranged. Nothing suggested interruption. Her final normal interaction came that Thanksgiving afternoon. Grocery shopping captured clearly on surveillance video. An ordinary errand. An ordinary day. Nothing about it suggested it would become the last confirmed sighting. That morning began quietly. Phone records show routine communication. No distress. No urgency. Around midday, Kelsey visited a Safeway grocery store. Security footage confirmed her purchase of food and holiday items. She returned home shortly afterward. Later analysis showed phone activity continuing briefly inside the residence. Then something subtle changed. During the afternoon, communication slowed. By evening, responses stopped entirely. Her phone, normally active, suddenly went silent. No outgoing calls, no movement detected afterward. The interruption appeared abrupt, as though her routine ended midday. Someone, or something, had halted it. Concern began days later. Kelsey failed to report for work. Flight students received unexpected cancellation messages. Her employer grew uneasy. Family members attempting contact received only brief text replies claiming she needed space, but the tone felt wrong. On December 2nd, Kelsey's mother reported her missing. When investigators entered the home, there were no signs of forced entry, no broken locks, no overturned furniture. Yet small contradictions appeared. Cleaning products showed unusual recent use. Items seemed moved. And despite her disappearance, her daughter remained safely cared for. The question intensified. Had Kelsey walked away? Or had she never walked out at all? Police initially classified the case as a missing adult. Attention soon turned toward people closest to her. Patrick Frazee told investigators he last saw Kelsey on Thanksgiving during a custody exchange involving their child. His timeline appeared cooperative at first, but phone analysis revealed troubling gaps. Investigators discovered Kelsey's phone had traveled hundreds of miles after her disappearance, locations inconsistent with her known movements. Neighbors reported nothing unusual. No screams, no disturbance. Yet digital evidence suggested activity long after she was believed missing. Statements began conflicting, timelines shifted, and suspicion quietly deepened. Search teams combed woodland areas across Teller County. Volunteers joined organized searches. Media coverage expanded nationally. Still, no physical trace of Kelsey appeared. Weeks passed. Leads dissolved. Online theories multiplied. Investigators faced a familiar obstacle. No body. No crime scene certainty. No direct witness. Hope slowly faded. But detectives believed one critical detail remained hidden, overlooked within evidence already collected. In December 2018, everything changed. Authorities arrested Krystal Lee Kenney, a nurse from Idaho connected to Patrick Frazee. Under questioning, Kenney revealed information investigators had never publicly known. She admitted helping dispose of evidence after Kelsey's death. According to court testimony, Frazee had killed Kelsey inside her home on Thanksgiving Day using a baseball bat. Investigators now believed the crime occurred shortly after she returned from grocery shopping. The staged text messages, the phone movements across states, had been attempts to create the illusion she was alive. The missing person case instantly transformed into a homicide investigation. Prosecutors reconstructed what they believed happened. Frazee allegedly attacked Kelsey inside her townhome while their daughter was present. Afterward, he cleaned the scene extensively. Kenney later testified she helped destroy evidence and dispose of Kelsey's phone. Investigators uncovered months of deception, planning, manipulation. Warning signs previously dismissed gained new meaning. The person initially viewed as cooperative became central to the investigation. Public belief shifted overnight. The Woodland Park community reacted with shock. Vigils formed. Neighbors struggled to reconcile the quiet town with the violence investigators described. In 2019, Patrick Frazee was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Yet Kelsey Berreth's body has never been recovered. For investigators, unanswered questions remained. Could earlier intervention have changed events? Were warning signs missed? Justice had been delivered in court, but emotional closure proved far more difficult. In October 2019, a Colorado judge sentenced Krystal Lee Kenney to 3 years in prison, plus mandatory parole after release. She received a reduced sentence because prosecutors confirmed her cooperation was essential to explaining how the crime occurred. Kenney was released in 2021 after serving roughly 18 months of her sentence, which included credit for time already spent in custody. Today, Kelsey's townhome stands like any other residence. Lights turn on. Seasons change. Life moves forward. But one absence remains permanent. Somewhere, the final resting place of Kelsey Berreth is still unknown. Even now, investigators acknowledge one question continues to echo through the case. What truly happened during those missing hours inside that home, before anyone realized she was gone?